Hello everybody, it's Free-to-Play Bust, getting ready to start up expedition number 10 here. Let's jump in and see what we get. I'm never too excited about Teemo. Elusive. I don't know. These don't even feel like Teemo cards that are in here. I do have a little bit more respect with him after I've just kind of made some decent runs with Ezreal, but this doesn't seem too exciting. Down on the other end, I don't like the box. I don't think it's very good. I don't really like Thresh as a first champion. He feels like a second champion that you want for me. Like, I think you kind of want to start with like Tryndamere and then end up with a Thresh, or if there's some kind of Darius Thresh deck or something. I don't think you want to really open with Thresh. I don't think he just plays that well on his own. I do like all these Ashe cards. Shatter's kind of weak, but it's okay. And then Flash Freeze and Ashe are both very solid. Let's see. There's nothing directly. This is the only Freylord pile, which is okay. We'd be ending up in some kind of control deck with Karma and Ashe, which could turn out okay. Karma makes a lot of spells. You're trying to just, do a lot of spell stuff, and the Demacia does have a lot of spell type interactions. But looking at everything else, this pile could be interesting. I'm not real sure why this pile would show up with Garen. Oh, I see what it's doing. This is like a Garen Darius deck. I don't think this is going to play well with our Demacia units. This deck ends up picking up a bunch of like challenger units, and you really want to be, hitting their one attack unit with a challenger, and then following up with your value attack or spending these cards on. I don't think we really want to be damaging our own units. I just don't think this is a good pile to pair with Ashe. This ephemeral stuff's not going to work with Ashe either. So we're just going to take this Karma pile, and we'll probably end up in some kind of dirtily control deck. So let's see. I do like Battling Beard. It's extremely good, but I don't really want a big stack of Yones. It's good, but I like Yone a lot more in kind of the Yasuo deck, as opposed to just a kind of a slow control-y deck. And here, Ramfang Wolf should be extremely powerful. Like, the Wild Claw is not that great, but I do want that Ramfang Wolf. We should get a lot of action out of him. We have here, these cards do not play. This is aggressive cards. I don't like Ghost. Ghost isn't very playable at all. What do we have here? Getting a giant curve is what's going on here. I think we're going to have to take this big pile over here. This isn't a good wild set. I could, as much as I don't want Ghosts, I think we kind of want this. I really don't want to get into these big cards. We're going to get forced into big cards later. Like if, for say like pick 8, we get offered Scar Mother and Avalanche. We're gonna want to take that. I think we're gonna get kind of stuck into having these expensive cards with another card we want. And so as much as we don't really want Ghost, the Mentor's fine, and we might be able to get a little value out of it. This is a pretty solid pile for our deck. The Catalyst is much worse at 5 mana than at 4. And definitely not the 3-cost Catalyst of Aeons anymore, but this is a pretty good stack. This is also another good one. If we weren't in to doing these freezy Ashe things, I would definitely want the Scaled Snapper. I probably do want some Scaled Snappers in this deck, because 2/5s would just clog up the board for so long that I'd be happy with it. But I think I do want my first Winter's Breath. We're going to be so much more likely to see another Scaled Snapper at some point compared to an Epic Winter's Breath. And this last pile we don't want. Okay. The wild pick, some random ass aggressive cards we don't want. This legacy is not great in our deck. I don't think we're copied on anything yet. It's just going to be a bad combat trick, but the Shaman is extremely good in our deck. So we might be interested in this one. And we can't do these things. The Will of Ionia is fine, but we can't play with Conspirators. This is going to be like a real bad 6-drop in our deck. We don't even have things we'd want to bounce. Like we don't even have like a late Babbling Bjerg or something we can bounce. So we'll take this kind of weak pile. What are we ever going to get with this? We're going to just draw one, maybe? I mean, drawing one with this would be good enough. Also plays with Ashe. I might have convinced myself into this pile, because our curve is currently pretty bad. We have 1/1-drop, no 2-drops. So this at least fills in a 2-drop. We do have a couple units that this Assessor can work with. I think I've kind of talked myself into this pile here. Because this Iceborne Legacy is just dead. As good as the Rime-Tusk Shaman is, I think we need to really mind our curve here and be playing these cheaper cards. Let's see, here's another Catalyst of Aeons, which is interesting. Don't really want any more Alpha Wild Claws. I do really like Emerald Awakener. This isn't a Dawn and Dusk deck, which is kind of awkward. I don't know why it keeps giving us Noxus cards. I don't see the synergy with these two, but we'll just take this expensive pile here. Weirding Stones would be a good pickup. We are getting pretty heavy on board. We don't have any AoEs. We haven't seen any avalanches. We really we haven't seen any of kind of the early cards we really want. We're looking for Loot Hoarder, the 3/2 Challenger Wolf that gives them a rabbit, and Ramfang Wolf. We just haven't really seen any of these early cards. So that sucks. I think we need this Weirding Stones. We can at least get good trades at some point, so try to just get rid of these expensive cards for cheap stuff. I think we're going to be looking at this pile here, just because it's the cheapest one. These are cheap cards here, but we can't play Conspirators. I really want this She Who Wanders. Like this is kind of the ultimate big card. I don't think we can let this go. We'll probably never see another one. Here's an Avalanche. That's going to be an extremely important pile, even though it comes with this card that we don't really want. We could even end up... I think Avalanche is too important to pass. These are another not very spectacular piles. Here's our first Iceveil Archer. Which one is this? Random spell, don't like that. Okay, so let's take the Iceveil Archer pile. This is pretty reasonable. At least some stuff to do early. I do really like these Elixir of Irons. It's so common to just have one spell mana, and being able to win a combat for one spell mana is usually pretty big. Okay, you can't block one? No, you are. I can't have these can't block units. So, really need the cheaper pal, the expensive ramp spell, and the Rime-Tusk Shaman. I would like to have Ritual of Renewal, but I think we'll just have to keep trying to ramp things here. Okay, this is reasonable. I don't like health potions, but these other cards, like, it keeps giving us these aggressive Noxus cards. I don't know why. I don't know what we did to make it think we wanted these. But yeah, we'll take the health potion. The Awakener is very good. This is the kind of unit we really need. Something that you can play early and with still very good late game as well. Okay, this is an extremely good swap for us. Blood for blood, we just don't want at all. Scaled Snapper is the kind of unit we need to really hold down the board until we can get Enlightened. So yeah, I would actually be happy with making all three of these trades if it would let us, but I think getting this card we don't want for a cheap card is the play we want to make. Let's see how this goes. I'm not real confident in this deck being any good. I usually like my Ashe decks to be aggressive, and I thought this Enlightened pile was like Freylord and here we go ahead and make that swap. I thought the Karma pile was Freylord and Ionia, but I don't know where it got all these Noxus cards into our stacks. Okay, but let's see if we can hold down the fort for just a little bit until we can get these catalysts going. We should be in a reasonable spot. This ghost is just 100% dead.
For two.
They didn't play anything? Like this is like the dream scenario for us. We just gotta start ramping.
Traditions are lost.
Wow.
And passed on. I still have some fire.
Sure.
How did that move go?
Like I don't know what more we could ask for than our opponent's first play of the game being Greenglade Elder. Like,
My sweet one.
we're just gonna ramp again. We'll just go ahead and do it. He can't attack this turn. And then I guess we just start playing Yones on turn 5. I guess I shouldn't say Ghost will be worthless. There's a good chance we just Ghost Awakener or something at some point. That feels pretty worthless. I'd definitely like to swap this out. Even if it's just a health potion. I'd be much happier if this was health potion. Which I think is pretty bad. Okay, cool. He played 2 units, so we'll get to shut them both down with Yo. And then we're going to plan on attacking before we play things on our turn. This isn't a great Ramfang Wolf. I'd rather have some kind of Frostbite before we just drop this down. Okay. So what are we gonna do here? Playing Catalyst of Aeons is not super exciting, but I think it's going to be okay here. We're gonna ramp up that last little bit, and then Assuming this survives, it should jump up to 7/7 on his turn, and then he can either attack directly into our 7/7, or he can play something and let us play Yone. Neither seems particularly good for him. He should have a pretty tough time interacting with this in his color combination. Like Demacia doesn't like to interact unless he plays a Challenger. I guess he could play like a 5-mana Challenger and hit this, but otherwise they're kind of lacking in spells to just deal damage. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get to Ghost on Teemo.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
I'll have what he's having.
I take everything back bad that I said about Ghost. It's gonna let me block and kill this Teemo. Oh, that sucks. Okay.
There they go.
That's one way to interact. I assume he's just gonna open attack here. Trying to see how many just big cards we have. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that we can draw. At 18, we're about one out of 3 drawing big cards here. I'm just going to stun his 2 biggest units. Those the most damage, and then that combat's the weirdest. And then I'm still just going to block his Teemo with Young. Like, I guess, if he's doing puff cap stuff, I can't just let this Teemo get in.
Dishonorable.
Push on without me.
We did it, guys. We ghosted his Teemo. Probably should have just prevented 3, but whatever. Okay. So we can play Yone again. And kind of the same
I'll
thing.
do what must be done.
He does have a lot of random cards in his hand, so he might be able to play, something big. But I have to assume this is going to be a pretty positive attack here. And we're just kind of playing the Archer and the Wolf slow in case he plays a unit we really care about. Right now we can really just kind of get in combats. That's unfortunate. Every time I say something, he just has the direct answer to exactly what I'm doing. That's okay. Let's get the big blocker online.
Yasuo, show yourself.
Another Yone. Okay. I'm just gonna play the Wild Claw here. I don't really want, I'm gonna have to use the Archer and Wolf to Challenger this stuff down. This attack here is gonna be extremely painful. We do at least get a value block on his Peddler. If we do that, we'd be taking 16. We could stay at 1 with health potion. This is just so bad. But I don't think we ever win the game if we just block both Yones.
My pretty.
health. Not quite yet.
Winter take you!
Okay. Man, he had such a strange hand. Like, this is a guy, like, his first play was the, Greenglade Elder on 3. The Elder boosted 2 Yones, a Chempunk Shredder, and, like, a Crush Bot. Jeez. What can we do here? Can we Frostbite? I'm afraid if we don't Frostbite now, he's just going to open attack me next turn. My life total is way too low. So at least want to try to coerce a block out of him. We are repping lethal, so he should. We don't have any cards, so I mean, should just be obvious. But okay. We're gonna have to trade for that, but let's get everything in.
Face your fate.
Oh, we're just dead? Yeah, that's just gonna kill me. Because he can block whatever he wants with this, and get the trade. So say, you know, he blocks the 6/5 Yone, he's just gonna take 11. Oh, this was only 12, 17. That wasn't enough anyways. These were not good blocks that you just made, though.
My friend and I are toll collectors.
Ugh. Not like this, fam. Something good. Is that slow? Yeah, we're just dead. I guess you can try to get cute here, but...
The Order rewards its faithful.
Okay, we'll just get this one up. There's no reason to wait the 2 more minutes it takes for him to Alpha Strike. Okay, let's see if we can improve this a little bit. It might be okay if we can, you know, get like 2 or 3 more transfers, but it's been such a weird ass set of cards that kept trying to give me like so much aggressive Noxus stuff and not what, you know, kind of like the Enlightened and Frostbite deck stacks were. It's so strange it kept sending so much Noxus in. Maybe we put like a Noxus pile on a wild card or something, and then it was like, hey, this guy wants more Noxus. Like, I don't know. All we took was the Assessor and, is that? No, it's Ionia. What's even our other one? We took the Grenadier and the Assessor once. And then it seems like it just kept feeding us all these Noxus cards. I don't know, but we definitely want this Ramfang Wolf. This is exactly what our deck's looking for right now, just kind of some early stuff to do. He plays extremely well with the Frostbites. Real Braum, okay. Hey, it's the ghost again. We got that Teemo. Okay, that's a much more reasonable start. These Ramfang Wolves have to be incredibly scary if you're a Braum player. Maybe this is where we got too aggressive last game, was we played this guy on 9 mana, just kind of expecting him to roll over, and then that didn't happen.
I'll show you how
I don't know. We'll make this trade here. I assume this is likely just a value Poro, but if he is actually the Poro's deck, then we'll want to get that value off the board. We'll see how this plays out. We do have the Avalanche actually in our hand. So we'll have to see what the makeup of his units look like. This is something we'd like to Avalanche. So I think on our turn we'll just be looking to Catalyst.
Here we go!
And then as soon as we can get like 2 units, maybe 3 with Avalanche, we'll just drop it. Would like to have, you know, enough mana to Avalanche, kill stuff, and then play a unit behind.
Time for a true display of skill.
So he plays Ezreal, that's fine. Let's kind of see what he does here if he just gets in. This isn't like a super scary Ezreal at the moment. If he wants to Mystic Shot my face, I don't really care. I'm just going to pass and see if he spends any mana. If it kicks back to me, then that's okay. Like if he spends his entire turn forward, do nothing, just try to be cute. I think that's completely fine for our deck.
Firing.
That's okay. But we can get the wolf online. We can bank that 2 mana, and then we'll just be looking to bring down his Ezreal. Kind of considering hitting. Oh, he's got so many Poros. I think we're gonna do this. Our turn's gonna come around. I think I'm going to Frostbite his Ezreal to protect the Roundfang's Wolf's health, so he'll survive an Avalanche. And then we can play the Snapper as well as a 2/5. Let's see how this plays out.
Many tribes, one Freljord.
Does that mean he hit? It made a splashy on his deck. I wish there was some kind of visual indicator or something other than a little deck splash that this thing went off. This is okay so far. I don't think there's any 1 mana spells that'll stop that combat for him. We may not even need to Avalanche, like, as the board stands, his attacks do not look very good. But I'm sure there's something that makes these Poros get scary, and I think like 3 is probably the limit to where we're really okay with these things being on board. But if he's getting his attack in now, then this attack feels strange. These make a little more sense.
Our ranks fill the valley.
He didn't attack with this one. Strange. So if we
If
do
it's a
this,
fight they want,
I'll just take the 1 from this one. And try to move. Still kind of lined up to make our Avalanche play work. Assuming he's going to have some kind of combat trick here. No. Okay. I think we can pass and he'll play cards. Alright, now we probably need to go ahead and drop Avalanche. There's a more reasonable chance he just passes with 3 spell mana. And then we can follow up with Karma. Okay. I'm perfectly fine with wolfing this down. Deny could be huge. That might be a huge pickup in this spot.
We must make our own.
That was a burst. Had to have been a burst. We didn't get to do anything. It had to have been burst. I don't think we're ever going to get
Now, where did that one run off to?
What's this? Weren't they already all dead? Oh, that was the guy that he hit with his allegiance. Okay, okay. So, this is not a great spot to be in. You can see why we thought that deny was going to be very good. He just took a burst. That's a pretty good pickup.
Where'd they go off to?
Okay. Can do that. Bounce this dude. He will get to draw 2 Poros, but he'll lose his 3/3 bonus, which is the scarier thing about him right now. And what do we do here? He shouldn't, again, he shouldn't be able to interact with our Awakener. We'll see how silly it makes me look.
Steady hand, unwavering heart.
But both of these should activate on our turn. I feel, at least kind of safer doing that because we have the deny.
Oh, fluff everywhere.
Really just like to draw She Who Wanders and
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
okay. Decimate, sure.
Peace begins within.
My wisdom is no
Okay, so I don't think we have more to do than play a Yone. I'm not real jazzed about playing the Assessor at this point. I think I just want to Yone down his 2 units here. Try and force Braum to block something. And then attack with everything and have Dana back up. So that will stop Karma from attacking. I don't know if it's really worth shattering. How much damage are we going to do? Do 17? So it would be lethal. He'd have to block something. But he can just block Karma. Or kind of the other thing is, let's say we attack, he blocks here, take 11, would be 1 short on Decimate. There's a good chance we get a good Decimate. I'm going to go ahead and shatter. I think this attack is going to be pretty good. My spells cast twice. When you play a spell, cast it again on the same targets. Oh, I didn't even realize that was a thing. So I just killed him with Decimate, as we can do that on his turn. I didn't realize that was the Karma Flip. I thought the Karma Flip was that you made 2 spells instead of 1. So this Decimate's just gonna do 8 to face after this attack. Okay.
Don't be sad, my friend.
Do not question our resolve.
Remember, when you're playing the game, read your cards. You should read your cards, know what they do. So as soon as we get the chance, we'll play this Decimate. She doesn't make spells anymore though now. That's a thing to remember. I'd probably almost rather her just make 2 spells every turn as opposed to doing this double casting. But we learned something today. We learned what Karma's Flip does. Not super worried about this attack, we can just kind of frostbite everything.
I will learn from you.
Okay, it's our turn. Why isn't this double casting? Because it doesn't target? Okay. Can you play? Maybe the one thing we learned today we didn't really learn that much on. Will the Karma Flip show up on Deck Tracker? No. Okay. So let's take a look here. This Ashe pile is pretty good. I don't really like these shatters, but Ashe and Stalking Wolf are good. Ashe's duplicate is Frostbite, which is pretty good. Karma's duplicate, not super excited about. But this pack does have these kind of early value creatures that we're in desperate need of. And then this Anivia pile is also kind of tasty here. I don't really like these Green Glade Lookouts. It does play super good with our copy of Ghost, but interesting. I am happy to have more Emerald Awakeners, and I think Anivia is just a lot stronger than Karma. We don't have real combos for this Karma Flip. You play a spell, cast it again on the same targets. I don't know why that Decimate didn't put two things out. But as far as that goes, I mean, we don't really have. You're wanting to do like Ezreal stuff with this, or like damage cards, or draw a card. You want that kind of stuff to copy. You don't really want to be copying, flash freezes. I think we're going to take this Anivia pile. Having access to these Emerald Awakeners is so important. Like, if we were in more of an aggressive deck, I think I'd like this Stalking Wolf Ashe stack, but I just think it's so rare that we're going to be getting like good attacks with Ashe. I'm taking this Anivia pile with the Awakener. Anivia should be pretty important. Like these Enlightened cards, like whenever we're at 10, either having Anivia do 2 to their board should be pretty much game, or if we ever able to play She Who Wanders, that should wrap up the game. Here we're just going to keep the challenger unit so we can interact a little bit. Big ramp. He's playing Draven, so good he didn't see a 1-drop. This should be a pretty aggressive deck, I would think.
Where's my axe?
So weird. I wonder if he doesn't have a 2 and he just drew this. Not quite sure what that means.
For the hand!
That dude's going to be a problem. We're going to have to... how can we do this? We're going to have to play the wolf. We're going to have to actually do stuff with the wolf and Ashe. Otherwise, this is just going to overrun us. Oh no, that is extremely bad.
I'll do better this time.
I don't know if we can come back from that. I mean, we have to get this Ashe online, just so we can block his 5 attack thing.
Faster than my arrow? I think not. Oh, I can't wait.
So this attack
Swiftly now.
should be okay. He can make this block if he has a spell to kill Ashe. I mean, he has a spell. We aren't really in a point to where, you know, we have to be taking risks here.
Okay, ready.
No backing down.
Can't be making value blocks here.
Is that all?
Now survive damage, deal 2 to the Nexus. This is going to take me to 1. So what are we going to do here? I think we need a Catalyst. We're going to bank 3 again, then we're going to be an Enlightened turn short. Yeah, he's just going to blow me out this game. We're going to be 1 turn short of getting this online. We can play it, and go ahead and attack with it, see if he blocks. He might just let it through. He can play the Shaman this turn to turn off his big thing.
Strength from within.
Let's see if we get the block here. That seems like it should be good for us.
Come here, darling.
Let's gain a little bit of health and get some of his stuff off the board.
Vanguard!
Next turn we're looking to take 8, but we can survive a little bit with Catalyst of Aeons.
Winter is the Freljord's true ruler.
And if... Sure. And if he tries to get too cute, we might have a really good Icy Yeti.
The frost revealed all to me.
I'm taking damage already.
I'll do better this time.
We probably have to block. I assume he attacked with this because he has a brother's bond. So what is it going to be? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? I think we're just going to have to block
You'll
here.
make a fine totem.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can survive a brother's bond, but losing the Shaman's awful for us. Into him, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we can go ahead and just play both of them. 8, 9, 10. Only put us at 3. Okay. Not dead, boys.
I found my family.
Okay,
My
okay.
bloodkin.
What are the chances that we can get a blowout Yeti? This would be incredibly good on his turn. I think we just have to get 3 units online here. I think I have to Zephyr Sage, Inspiring Mentor, and then play 2 Inspiring Mentors. And what do we want to boost with that? Probably put both on the Yeti. Because at this point, if he wants to be lethal, he might need to play a unit on his turn, and if he plays a unit, this Yeti should just be a monster blowout. Frostbiting both of his small units and give us something that can tango with the shield breaker. I think he should need, right? He should need to go wide with 1 unit here. This thing is our next. This thing's our next problem. How do we go about this? We're gonna. I'm just gonna frostbite it. Right. Next turn, this would be coming in for 8. I think getting his overwhelm off the board is important here. And then we don't really need to frostbite here. We can if he plays a card. He should have a spell in his hand. Given that he didn't play anything on our last turn. So I'm gonna have to frostbite. So I want to frostbite this one, so it protects our Yeti. Losing that frostbite is pretty painful in the face of this battering ram. We should just be looking at 1 damage from this next turn. We can't really attack with our Yeti. I really don't want Karma to flip. Okay, so let's get a Wild Claw on board. And we'll attack with the Wild Claw.
Time for
Brave
the
and
main
sure.
event.
Okay. Let's see if we can't draw like Winter's Breath. Oh my god. We put 4 puff caps in our deck and we drew 2 in the top 22.
We are forged in war.
Okay, so what do we hit here? We can't frostbite this thing because it's just going to come back with another +4. I think we have to hit his shield breaker.
Winter take you.
So this is going to go up to 8. He can't spinning axe it.
Stay back.
I don't want him getting additional units. Tango with Draven. We don't want to take the damage here. Now, we're going to play the second Wild Claw, and he should have a real overwhelm problem here.
Draven down.
Right, because as it stands, we're coming in for 14, and he has 7, so it would be 1 short. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Ugh. That's absurd. What a comeback. Like, we would have came in with the 6-6. Oh, that's brutal. You put puff caps in on like 23 cards and then we drew 3 in the top 5. It's fucking, it's frustrating. Alright, but if we can tango with that ultra aggressive Draven deck, then I think we should be good kind of the rest of the way. This is a big trade here. Picking up the Stalking Wolf, we don't want Ghost. Outriders aren't any good in our deck. We'd be okay with the Will of Ionia, but not for Scaled Snapper. Okie dokie, so we'll get rid of Yone, otherwise this is a pretty reasonable hand. Doesn't have any ramp, which kind of sucks, but like Scaled Snapper with the Elixir and the Avalanche should be enough to really just hold down the board for a while.
Take a look at this.
You're covered.
Sure. Not quite ready to get on board. We'll just bank up this 3 spell mana, and Snapper at this point should, at least lock down what he has on board. I think Catalyst feels a little aggressive.
Making the dead deader.
Okay. We're fully ready to just avalanche this. See if he plays any more cards before he attacks. Because his attack right here doesn't look super juicy. So if he drops a unit, we're definitely avalanching. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. I don't want to play. I'm just going to bank that spell mana. So now the question is, do we want to Catalyst? I don't think we do. I think we can attack with him not having anything and just play the Ramtusk Shaman. Like if he just plays a 5-drop here, yeah, 4-drop, the Shaman is so good against this. Essentially just time walking.
Winter is the Freljord's true ruler.
In the War Mother's name.
The frost reveals all to me.
Winter's Breath's pretty good against Unscarred Reaver and his team. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that. We will be looking at getting back. We should be able to, we're going to just Catalyst here, ramp up a bit, and then on our turn we'll try to Ice Veil Archer his Bull and then Winter's Breath.
I'll prove myself to the War Mother.
No blocks.
A chill in the air. Flavor and spice.
That feels pretty good. Like the most he's committing to the board is a war chest. I have to imagine he doesn't really have big stuff in his hand.
Our ancestors are watching!
It's okay. I'm going to trade this for anything. You should likely just take the 3 damage. And then again, we'll just bank this spell mana.
There's a chill in the air.
Ice runs in our
We aren't at
veins.
any real risk of dying here. Then if he tries to get cute with his cards, this Ice Yeti will be pretty good here.
I've always got your
Yeah,
back.
Frostbite
Don't
his whole
worry
team
about
again.
me.
Maybe should have waited to get the wolf online, but I mean, tangoing with both Lucian and Senna is kind of scary here. It's not the worst. We're kind of, have enough dirtly blockers to deal with the Senna. Capture again, that's fine. Okay, just go ahead and get Omen Hawk down, and then just try to kill his Lucian with the wolf. Enlightened now. Someone. Ooh, Zephyr Sage. I'm just gonna Zephyr Sage this thing. But let's play you first. See what he does. Like, bringing down this Lucian isn't super important, but
What will you have?
okay, don't care. I would like to have my Shaman back. As it stands, it's gonna, if we're able to take down Lucian, then it's gonna pop his set off.
Leaping into action.
Not so fast.
Oh, I fucked that up. That's okay.
Let's talk
If,
about
if we get a
Runeterra.
trade for Senna, then that's fine. I can Elixir of Iron here if need be, but I have to assume if he's blocking here with Senna that this is just gonna die. Oh, perhaps not. He's boosting his Lucian. Okay. At the cost of Senna. Okay.
I'll bring them peace. Who's gonna close up?
That's not great, but his attacks aren't super scary here. We can just block Lucian, Bowman Hawk and stuff. He gets cute. Young is pretty decent here.
Burn away the shadows.
Okay, so let's get
My
these big
path.
dudes online, then we'll play Yoan on our turn.
I knew, and now I am.
Leave your bags in the
Sure.
door.
So all our attacks are pretty safe. Are we even going to want to stun Lucian? I don't care if he kills any of my units, but like what if we stun the Tracker and the Tavern Keep? We're threatening 6, like he has to block 2, so he blocks 7 and 6. He'll be taking 18, so he's going to have to block both units unless he has another card. And that's fine, making him force block with Lucian. Actually, I'd rather him have to block with the tracker. This is going to turn his attack on. But... okay. We're recovering. Our deck's getting a little bit better. A little bit better. So let's see. I'm quite okay with this trade. Let's stand united. I'm not super interested in that. 3 Catalyst of Aeons feels like a bit much, but I think I'd rather just get this lookout out of my deck for another Stalking Wolf. This will really kick up the value of our Frostbites, and then it's just giving us stuff to do early. It was what we were seriously lacking at the end of that draft. We didn't have very many 1 and 2 drops, and then in those past 4 games we've picked up a Stalking Wolf, we picked up a second Rampang Wolf, gotten rid of some of our more expensive cards. It's really, really big upgrades. So here, I'm going to keep the Catalyst and the Grenadier, just kind of give us a little bit of interaction early. I wouldn't really want to say get rid of the 3 and then not draw any early game.
What's today's lesson? And punch!
Just get the Grenadier out and pass. I don't want to trade it with Sparring Student. On his turn we'll be able to play Rampang Wolf, and we should be able to challenge one of these and get value blocks. I really just want this Grenadier to be here to be a 3-power trader.
Psst, act natural. I got you.
Pass. If he just doesn't attack, then I'm okay with banking all this mana, but I'm pretty sure he only has 1. We're safe to just play Wolf at this point.
Walk softly, strike quickly.
Oh, cool. I was willing to trade Grenadier for his Sparring Student. We're going to have to snatch one of these up right at the start so he doesn't play another unit. I think we're still just kind of on the same plan. I'm going to Catalyst here, and then the next turn we can play the 2 Wolves. Really try to punish his 1-attack units. And given the opportunity to trade this, I'll trade it with probably anything. He should be pretty good. Anivia should just annihilate him.
Old masks let young eyes see clearly.
Kitty fight. Okay, so let's see. How much of this do we actually want to get on board? I think I can pass until he attacks. We've got 5 mana here. We can play Omen Hawk to block, something.
Follow my lead. What are we going to do? We're going to follow up with 2 Wolves. We can wolf this, we can wolf this. I'll at least want to get some damage. I want to get 1 damage on this. And then I'm going to block Sparring Student to just go ahead and get it off the board. Or on our turn, we can do this. Block We don't need to block to prevent the damage. Okay, and then we're just going to try to Anivia his board next turn. I'll hook in the Conspirator, and then Anivia should kill everything else. With that, we can give him the 1/1. Bank 3, and then play Anivia. Maybe should have killed this sparring student, but because he's going to get the chance to play a card here, but he can only play one dude.
The dark beckons.
Okay, now I'm really okay with just full clearing his board. I don't want things blocking Anivia. I guess he can. We don't have any way to stop everything.
I bring the storm.
And kind of the idea here is at some point on his turn, next turn, we're definitely going to Catalyst of the Aeons, so we'll be Enlightened on our turn and flip our Anivia back. It's kind of awkward to guess about this ramp here. He's got a lot of stuff happening here. Shadow Shift is fine. Stun something is fine. Okay.
A world in perfect stillness.
Did really blow out on me. And he didn't block with his definitely gonna die. Okay. His board is certainly not scary now.
Tea to gain the strength of rivers.
So let's go ahead and play the Shaman.
Winter is the Freljord's true
We're just going to be
ruler.
playing the Shaman and the Catalyst this turn. But we won't play the Catalyst until after he attacks. I assume his line of play here is not expecting Anivia to do 2 damage.
Silent as death.
Give me the bluff of the century and just pass. Okay, so I don't want to deal with that, really. If he has a combat trick onto Anivia, that's okay. She'll egg and we'll get her back on our turn. Okay, I think we're okay now. So we definitely want to attack first in case he has a recall or something.
Snow, wind, and ice.
I think this is happening here. I don't think we need to attack with the Shaman. The only real kind of scary thing about his deck now is, he can play an elusive on his turn and attack through. We really need that ghost back. But yeah, I mean, if he plays, like Shadow Assassin on his turn, he can still attack with it before Anivia gets to blast him, so his units aren't just completely worthless.
Focus. Focus.
He's doing a bunch of stuff here. That's okay. What did he recall? I missed that. Okay.
Left foot. Left foot.
We're currently looking at 5 on his turn, so we might just die to another elusive.
Psst, act natural. I got you.
Let's see. I guess we'll just play Karma, because she looks kind of scary.
Peace begins within.
Yeah, I think our
Where
saving
there
grace
is
here
life,
might be this
there is
Ramtusk
hope.
Shaman turning off his Conspirator. I don't want him to know that I have another Ramfang Wolf, and we can
The
still just...
frost reveals all to me.
We can... How many will this draw? Just 1 right now? I can play the Wild Claw and the Assessor and draw 2. Do we need to play it now to just try to draw a card? I don't think so. He could have, if he has the 3 plus 3/0 or plus 0/3 burst, then we're kind of screwed. But I think he's just going to play his Shadow Assassin and attack for 6.
Order rewards its faithful.
Because that does open up a lot of just 1 damage kills. But we do get to draw 2 now to look for Frostbites, which we didn't find.
They cannot hide.
Okay, yep. We did as much as we could there. Just didn't find anything. Okay. So, I'm kind of thinking of getting rid of these Weirding Stones. Just to give us another Frostbite. This is a good one. We have the 4 Wolf Challengers now, so that really kind of ups the value of Brittle Steel. Makes our early game more than just trying to play Omens, whatever it's called, Catalyst of Aeons. And these other trades aren't that exciting. I still kind of want this Grenadier as kind of, 3 power blocker, and I really don't want to trade away a 1-drop for another Ice Yeti. So I think this trade's actually pretty good here. See if we can get the losers around. Turn this into a 13-game expedition. I'd like to get this Karma out of my deck. It's just not doing anything. I've got to get rid of everything here. We can't keep a Elixir of Iron if we don't have another unit to play with it. What is that? Thresh something? Thresh and Ezreal.
Charged up and ready to go!
So what are we going to do here? I think we do want to just go ahead and get the wolf down. And then just kill this on the way back. If he wants to attack with both, we can still just block the hair. And then this will give us, since he didn't attack with that, it will give us some options to frostbite this thing if we hook it. We just can't play anything. This is like pretty good with Ashe. We could play Ashe on his turn and start whittling down his units on our turn. It just takes us so far behind. I think I need to just kill this unit. We don't have time to be making value plays, I don't think, against this Academy of Prodigy.
Lucky shot!
Prodigy, that's fine. Like, if we have 6 mana on our next turn, what are we gonna do? Just play Ramtusk Shaman? It seems okay. Choice as to whether or not we want to get like an Ashe down
and try to get some value blocks on its units, or if we just want to ramp. How much will this take us? This will leave us with 2 spell mana, and then next turn we'll be at 6 mana. So we'll be at 8. Play another Catalyst and a 3, but we don't have a 3. I think I have to just try to slow down his aggression.
Only the
We
finest
played
serve.
this guy. Should, you know, give us value blocks here so I probably want to attack with them, and then we can play the Shaman on our turn.
Bring me the calm of an ice-shrouded world.
The box. That's annoying. But if that's how he wants to spend his 4 mana, I think I'm okay with that. At least next turn we're at a spot to where we can get off a second Catalyst. We can play an Ashe. We'll have access to Ramfang Wolf. We should start getting bigger than his board. These karmas are just so awkward. The Thresh? What do we do about Thresh? It's not a whole lot to do. Much as this set 6 and 4 would be 10. We'd be 1 short of doing all of this. I think we just want to get Ashe on board. Have to flash freeze his Thresh whenever he inevitably hooks Ashe, and then try to challenger him down next turn.
The time is right. Strike now.
Okay, so we can definitely deal with Thresh this turn. I think we have to get the wolf down, see what he does. Pretty sure if we attack with Ashe it will hit his challenger, his Thresh, and we will be losing Ashe to his 3-1. But it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot we can do about that. I just need to stop him from doing things. Or just kill my Ashe, that's fine. Attacking with Ashe would have probably not been the best idea anyways. Sure. Draw something. We've got to get She Who Wanders at some point. We can play this. We're healthy enough to take this attack, and then if he plays something first, this will be a pretty good Yone. Would like to get 2 units down, but we can't quite do that. So who do we want to play here? Just that. Wildclaw? He's the most expensive one that isn't Yone. Do we want to copy Yone instead? This kind of does the same thing as a Wildclaw. I don't think we need to make value plays like this. I think we might get a unit out of this if we attack with it. Sure. So She Who Wanders. No, we can't draw She Who Wanders. What? Kill everything but Thresh. Okay, let's see how this goes. I definitely need to keep... Well, I mean, we're just going to play this on his turn anyways. There's no way, unless he makes a block here, there's no way we're going to get some kind of like surprise catalyst. Oh, maybe we can. Okay, so let's get the karma down. I
Heart and mind as one.
don't really understand how flipped karma works. I'd like to gain 6 life with this Catalyst of Aeons. Not entirely sure that that's what's going to happen because it doesn't target anything. But that's our plan. He's just gonna send forward. Hook, okay. I'm gonna block here. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess we'll see if this doubles. It doesn't target anything. So.
The land
Okay, it doubled.
to those who listen.
We have another turn. So, gonna Sage the Yeti. He does a lot more against his board, and you know, kind of in the event where if we ever get a chance to play units before he just attacks, then the Yeti should shut down more stuff. He's just gonna kill me. Okay, it is what it is. These games have been pretty awkward, but I feel like this deck was getting pretty good. I think it initially started out pretty weak, but as time went on it got a lot better. There still are some cards in here it doesn't like really want. Like, we'd be a lot happier if this was like Erosion Sentry. But I think kind of our big problem was like Karma was super weird. And just not good. Ashe was kind of weird and not good. Like, we would have rather just had like Anivias and Brahms. But I think the deck was good, and we just kind of caught a bad run with it. I think this should have easily been like a 5 or 6 win deck once we got it to this point, as opposed to just where we got. Do we get to 2 on this one? Yeah, 2 wins. But we need to work on that a little bit more. It could have gone better, but I mean, that felt like a very awkward draft where we were starting out with the Frostbite deck with Ashe, the second pick Enlightened deck with Karma, and so like the Frostbite is pure Freylord, the Karma set is Freylord Ionia, and then it just kept sending so many Noxus cards our way, and so it's like for the longest time we were just, it was like, you know, take your choice of these aggressive Noxus cards or, you know, something playable in a Ghost. And so overall, like, it felt like a pretty strange run, but we did it. We played it. We didn't win that much, but we learned quite a bit playing that style of deck. I typically play just a lot more. I prefer to be playing mid-rangey decks and then aggressive decks and then these control-y decks. I'm not a super huge fan of playing. Like in that game, we would have, you know, just ran away with it if at any point we drew, you know, Avalanche or She Who Wanders, but you know, we didn't draw any of them. We just kind of had this awkward, dirtly draw, and it just lost to his, you know, pretty bad units. And so it's easy for the control decks to just get punished if you get awkward draws. Whereas, you know, if you're playing aggro decks, you're the one doing the punishing for weirdness, and then kind of the awkward draws for aggro decks tend to just be like a lot of spells, and so you tend to have at least have a lot of reach as to where, if you know, you're able to give a unit you know, +8 attack and overwhelm, you can kind of still, you know, get those percentage points with your awkward draws. But anyways, that was kind of the awkward Enlightened Frostbite deck. Hope you enjoyed watching, and see you later.